All right. How's everybody doing? Here we go. Let's start this savagery. How's the audio, guys? How's that? I'm gonna take a quick look at the chat here. Hey Jeeker. Hey Bronco. Timothy Smith. All right. Giovanni with the boop boop. So just let me know if this sounds good, guys, and then I'll get started. All right. Thanks, Ryo. Good to see you. All right. Great. All right. So I appreciate everybody joining me on this Saturday here. We're going to get into this. I have not read the chapter yet. It has been hard to wait, but you know, here we are. I do know a couple of things because I was on Twitter, so I know that there is a color page. I know that there's a color page. I know that it's Kaido's crew. I didn't look at it to like see the details. I'm going to do that here. And I did see some YouTube thumbnails that had King and Marco. So that's really all I know about this chapter. But I'm excited to get into it. Tenyasha, the heavenly demon, coming in from Switzerland. Thank you for being here. Hi there, Twilight Yonder. So as always, I'm gonna be on OnePieceChapters.com, and we're gonna read this. We're gonna read chapter 1006. I'm pulling up the OST right now for me to have in my ear because I like to listen to it when I read. All right, I'm all set. And yeah, so as always, I'm gonna let you guys know, like where I am with it. Not really gonna be reading everybody's dialogue, but then after that, we'll have a chat, we'll talk about it, and we'll see where where we're gonna go from here. Okay, everybody ready? Here I am, chapter 1006. Wow, Luffy, Law, and Kid made the front cover of Jump. That's exciting. That's hype. Alright, now I'm on this color page. This color spread is awesome. I saw a small thumbnail of it on Twitter. I was like, oh, no, I don't want to see anymore. To this day, I still feel that Ulti's colors are a little, weird. I really thought she was going to be green. I like how this is hyping up Who's Who, because I've always felt that, this guy is going to be way more important than we think. So to have Who's Who all the way in the corner, and Black Maria also, that's very interesting to see her getting, as prominent a role in this spread here. Wow. Yeah, this is really cool. All right, what's the name of this chapter? I don't see the name of the chapter on here. Let me know in the chat. What's the name of the chapter? All right. I'm on page 1. Okay. So we've got Bao Wang here. He got away. Who got away? Okay, so Bao Wang's after Momonosuke. Oh, here we are. Chapter 1006. The Honorable Hyogoro the Flower. Alright. Are we going to lose Hyogoro today? Or is he just gonna make a big stance? I want to know also if that was Hyogoro in 1005, if he went back to his prime form. So let's see. Now, this confirms something that we were talking about last week, that Sanji actually, like, by doing his declaration, saved Momonosuke once again. Because here's Bao Wang, and she doesn't know where Momonosuke is. And that's because Yamato heard the transmission and knew about the Marys and decided, okay, I need to hide this boy. Alright, there goes Yamato. Someone's, I'm on page 2 now. Someone's sniping at Yamato. Okay. They can see Momonosuke through there? Is this like Usopp's type of hockey here? Alright. There's Sanji. Yeah, that's right. Sanji doesn't know who Yamato is yet. Alright. Okay. Sanji... I guess the idea is that he took out these guards. Let's see. Alright. Yeah, big brain Sanji. Let's see. We finally get a shot of Onigashima to remind us that, you know, we're heading towards Wano. Based on this mountain here, it looks like we're getting pretty close. All right, so the time limit is coming. Aha, Perorin. All right, I'm on. I guess this is page 3. Ah, I knew it. I knew that Keratin and Wanda would not defeat this guy. Because they looked way too good when they were fighting him. They got too many good hits in. But the thing is like, they have speed, right? But speed is useless against candy that can get you stuck. And I've been telling people for a long time, don't sleep on Sparrow. Don't sleep on him. He's my favorite member of the Big Mom Pirates for a reason. Well written. Alright, so let's see here. Let's see. You lost to me simply because the weather wasn't in your favor. The moon got covered. Is Sanji gonna show up and fight Sparrow, or are we going to get what I've really wanted for months? That would be pretty great. Not that I, think that Oda needs to have characters saving women all the time, but I do feel that Sanji having a fight with Sparrow would be more apt, based on everything in Whole Cake. And I can go in deeper later, but I'm going to keep reading. Alright, I'm on the next page. Carrot's thinking about Pedro. Yeah, Sparrow's got some of the best lines in the series. I just gotta say that. Did you really expect to get a free pass after trespassing in our territory? If you don't want to mourn any more of your friends, hop back to the woods and chew on some grass. Oda loves this guy. He loves this guy. That's why he brought him to the fight. He gives him some of the hardest lines in the series. If you want to mourn, hop back to the woods and chew on some grass. Savage. Okay, alright. Next page. Okay. We got these guys getting healed by Marco. We got Chopper Doctrine. Apu. Okay. So it was Hyogoro in 1005. That's great. He somehow unlocked Prime Hyogoro. That's a cool panel. I like that panel of Drake standing next to Hyogoro. It's probably the best he's ever looked in that hybrid form, in my opinion. You know, I just got to say, where was Prime Hyogoro at the prison, though? I guess he was too hungry. I don't know. All right. All right, so it looks like Hyogoro's infected as well. Yep, being exposed to the virus may have brought me to the brink of death, but it also seems to have drawn out my dormant strength. Ah, so this is the virus that made him Prime again. Yep. Hyogoro's getting those death flags. Alright. I'm on the next page. He's shouting at the Yakuza bosses. Hyogoro is quite confident in himself. I'll end up killing everyone in this hall. All right, how strong was Prime Hyogoro? All right, next page. Whoo! I just got to the attack that Hyogoro does. Fiery hairs, holy light. Oh man. That is something else. Kind of reminds me of Shishisanson. And I found myself an interesting protege. That's nice, I like that. Now I know Wano will see a new dawn. Okay, so we got Queen back here. Okay, Marco with the assist. Okay, alright, this guy is still going toe-to-toe with two commanders. Is Queen firing like a laser beam out of his mouth? What? He had a machine gun, now he's you know, doing like a Dragon Ball Z Kai blast here. Whoo! King just sliced off one of Marco's wings. I'm sure he'll grow right back, though. This man said glow. What is he doing? He's just like pulling the fire back to him? Bluebird. Okay, okay, Marco. Whoo! Ooh, okay. This man's telling Chopper to hurry up. Oh, Sparrow. Is he about to I swear, if Sparrow like gets the jump on Marco over King and Queen, though. Whoo. Okay, I leave the rest of you guys. Hyogoro the Flower, no longer have any regrets. Alright. No break next week. Okay, I'm coming over, guys. Wow. We got a super chat. Julius Ellis. Thank you. Another Savage stream. Let's get it. Savage. I appreciate the 20 piece. Thank you so much. Yeah. Pull up the sound effect. Otherwise, it's what are we really doing here, right, guys? And Savage. Alright, there we go. Chad Guro, indeed. I'm looking at the chat now. Chopper will make it. So with the way that the chapter ends, obviously there's two ways that this can go. Either one, he's going to die, which is the least likely in most situations, when you think about One Piece. What's more likely is that Chopper shows up in the nick of time to heal Hyogoro. But I would prefer... I like Hyogoro. He's a decent character, but we need to up the stakes in this fight. So... if he goes, he goes. To quote Rocky, if he dies, he dies. But I just don't see this being the moment. There's not a lot of weight to it right now if he dies. It's also better if Luffy sees Hyogoro die. Kind of like this Obi-Wan Luke sort of situation. From far away, if he sees Hyogoro die, it could awaken something in him. That's what I would rather see. That's the way that I could see Oda going with it. So I think that Hyogoro will die. I don't know if it'll be right here. If it is, I'll say, wow, okay, Oda. But I expect Chopper to probably heal him, and then, he'll die later. Fire in my laser. Shoot the whoop, yeah. Timothy Smith, thank you.
Savage.
Chopper versus Sparrow. Let it happen for our favorite doctor. That's interesting. Considering that he, has previously lost to Sparrow, him and Brook. So he would have to, he would have had to have come up with some way to counteract Sparrow. I mean, if there was a way that he was thinking about it, hey, if I ever run into this guy again, I don't want to get turned into a candy monster. Now, a long time ago, when this whole thing was starting, and we knew that even before we had any idea that the Big Mom Pirates were going to get kicked off the side by Marco or anything, I was saying that I wanted Sanji to fight Sparrow. And the reason that I wanted that to happen is because I hold Sanji mostly responsible for Pedro. Pedro made his own choices. He's his own man. But Pedro would not have died if he didn't go to Whole Cake Island because of Sanji. He would have never been in that situation unless Sanji, did all of that. So I feel like that's something that that would be smart if Oda addressed it. I'd like that. I thought at some point, I even mentioned, I think in one of the earlier streams, that Karen and Wanda would get defeated or be having trouble with Sparrow, and then Sanji may fly in and all that, and because he has heat properties, the candy wouldn't really affect him as much, so it would be an interesting fight. That still doesn't really seem to be the case. I more so expect Sanji to find his way over to Jack. I know that there is so much foreshadowing for Sanji versus Queen, but I think that that's on purpose by Oda, and I think that that's the thing that he's going to subvert, and he's just not going to do the Sanji versus Queen thing. Or he's going to give Sanji a pre-fight, because I don't even necessarily consider this Black Maria fight even to the level of Khalifa. I mean, it was Khalifa 2.0, but even then he was at least blocking Khalifa's attacks. So, if he has a little skirmish with Jack, and then someone else comes over and takes over that fight, and then he goes and fights Queen, then I'll be okay with it. But I want him to get something else in here. Oh, there's some super chats. Evo Warrior 5, thank you.
Savage.
For the €5. Either Chopper comes in time to save Hyo. I think he deserves seeing the dawn of Wano. That's true, he does deserve to see it. Or he's too late and feels guilty and need to grow more. Yeah, that would be a good character moment for Chopper as well, to have him, not save Hyogoro, not be able to save some of these people, and then use that as motivation to get better with his doctoring. That would be good. It would also be interesting if Chopper, I don't think that he's at the level to fight Queen or anything like that, but, Queen did start all of this. I don't expect Chopper versus Queen, but I mean, that would be fun. It would be interesting, even if he didn't win. It would remind me of Chopper versus Hogback in the sense of, fighting for the ideals of it all. But I really think that Chopper actually is not going to have a fight at all. I think that this is his Whole Cake Island moment, and that him curing everybody is his Sanji baking the cake. So I think that Chopper is just going to be dealing with this for a while. Ryo, my guy, thank you.
Savage.
All right. We got I'm D King in the chat. My guy, how you doing, man? Onigashima close to dropping too. Mount Fuji right in the background. Yep, yeah, I noticed that. So the time limit is speeding up. We'll probably, it'll be a few chapters, I imagine, before we actually get anywhere near landfall. But yeah, this was a pretty light chapter. We got a lot of setup. You're putting some pieces together. I don't necessarily care as much about the samurai as I do some of the Straw Hats and everything like that. So, but the Marco stuff, is great. Let's get, let's get more of that. Let's see. Could Onigashima be dropping in the next 2 to 3 chapters? They're so close. I hope we see in the next chapter some Jinbei and Who's Who action too. Yeah, we definitely need some Jinbei and Who's Who action, because they have not had any sort of actual blows exchanged. We had them meet, then and then we saw him blocking in the last chapter, and that was it. I want to see Who's Who in action, especially since this color page, this color spread in this chapter is hyping Who's Who to an unbelievable degree by putting his face bigger than anyone else other than Black Maria. Jim Phoenix.
Savage.
What if Sanji is meeting Hawkins next? Well, That's an interesting thought, and something that I haven't thought about, and that would be really interesting. I'd be interested in seeing Sanji versus Hawkins. I don't necessarily know how that would go, but since Sanji is a cerebral fighter, it would be an interesting matchup. It would make for a good skirmish, like not like a full fight. Maybe like a half a chapter until something else like divides them up. And I guess there was like foreshadowing because Hawkins was chasing after him most of the, the first 2 acts. That'd be interesting. Sanji and Laoji related. Says Brandon King. That's funny. My guy Ryo, Sparrow disrespected Carrot. You hate to see it. I don't know. I actually love the development. Carrot's an okay character for me. She needs way more development before I'll ever think that she's ready for the crew. As far as I know, she's had 0 scenes with Zoro, which I feel is like necessary if you're going to join. But I don't know that all of Sparrow's lines. My man was spitting this chapter. He was spitting. Don't sleep on Sparrow. I saw someone in the chat earlier say like, "Oh, I never understand. I'll never understand why Randy likes Sparrow." And Chin's like, "Randy, you disrespected too by laughing at that page." Did I laugh? Did I? Sorry, guys. Sparrow is an awesome character. He's like you can, and I'm speaking as like a writer, right? Like Oda has fun with this character, and you can tell that he likes the character because he gives him these like moments. He's also the only member of the Big Mom Pirates that is at this war. Oda likes this character. He writes him really well. He feels like a real villain. He's got that like classic One Piece like just flair to him. He's one of the best characters in the that Oda's made in a long time. So I'm happy that he's here because he's also a great device in the same way that like Sanji is a device for Oda to like, he'll always have Sanji in the corner to like break the Arc Maxim or open the gates of justice. Sparrow is like the evil Sanji. Like he's just going to be in the background like manipulating some things, and it's going to be fun to see. He's going to be throwing a lot of wrenches in this war. He's this guy that's just moving around. So to have that happen to Carrot and Wanda is great development because I want to see what's going to happen. Schnaz-chan is right. He could be the villain of his own arc and carry it. Yes. 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 Reese is like, free Sparrow. He did nothing wrong. It's true. You had some guys show up and this guy's, he just pulled up to this guy's house and was like, chopping down trees and stuff. Of course, he's going to use his candy. Let's see what else the chat's talking about here. If there's going to be a tragedy, it's going to be Onigashima falling on the capital and the Straw Hats being defeated, says Twilight Yonder. Yeah. I mean, I would love for Onigashima to actually drop, but I still, like I've been saying, I still want Momo to try and hold it up, even if he fails. I want to see him try. Crystal K, who's the doctor in Kaido's crew? That's a good question. I mean, Queen is definitely the anti-doctor. I don't even know. Put your guesses in the chat. Who's the doctor of the of the Kaido pirates? The Beast pirates. Wero Swero. Beware the Candy Man. Loggy Doggy, thank you.
Savage.
What the bleep are the Big Mom children doing? It's a great question. They're definitely not on Onigashima, though. I don't know how they're going to play in. They may play into a different act. I still feel like they'll play into a different arc. I'd like to see the Straw Hats go against the Big Mom Pirates. I think that there would be a lot of interesting matchups among the children. You know, we need that Usopp versus Flampe moment. And Loggy, thanks again for that thumbnail for the last video. It saved a lot of time. A lot of comments asking who you are and shouting you out. Let's see. AJ1218. I like to think that that Big Mom sees herself as the hero of her own story, and her and her kids rarely outright kill because they see themselves as building a new world. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, like Big Mom is like clouded in the idea that she is, you know, building a utopia, you know, and uniting all races and species and all of that within the world. So, you know, but then she's also, you know, locking one away in a book like it's Noah's Ark. So, you know, there's that. And then, you know, there's also her violent eating people rages. Usopp versus Bao Wang. That's interesting. Especially if that was her using her eye to like see inside of to see Momonosuke. You know, if that's like a super observation hockey type thing, then it's a possibility. Triple Threevil caught a stream. Love the content, Randy. Thank you. I've seen you shout me out on Discords and stuff, so yeah, I know you've been rocking with me for a while. Appreciate that. May Beemans, it felt off that the crew didn't cheer with Jinbei at the in chapter 977. They said they'll save her for later. That could take Jinbei's Straw Hat plot armor away. Now, maybe. You know, I mean, sure, Jinbei's got death flags also. You know, he's, you know, one of the few Straw Hats that I could see dying in some sort of a situation. But in Wano, I can't see that. That would be wild. That'd be wild for Oda to do, to take out Jinbei. I can't see it. Not this early. Later on, maybe in the final war, sure. Wheezy Bird, thank you.
Savage.
Oda foreshadowing Luffy versus Kaido sky clearing clash. In the panel with the with Onigashima heading towards Mount Fuji. Let me take a look. Maybe. I'm not going to respect Luffy as an emperor until I see him do a sky clearing clash. So. One of the more interesting things for me this chapter is just which way Sanji's gonna go. Because that's really been the question this entire arc. This is like, what is Sanji's role? What is he going to do? Is he going to fight Sparrow? Is he going to fight Jack? Is he going to fight Queen? Then he randomly fought King, and then it's like, well, is he going to fight King? But, you know, it's been King versus Marco ever since they both knocked the Big Mom Pirates off of the waterfall. I've been saying that. Now, Marco was giving King and Queen the business this chapter. It's great. That's great. He's done more here than he did in the entirety of Marineford in one chapter, I think. He was basically playing defense in Marineford. Lucy B, did you watch the OVA produced by Production IG and not Toei? It was originally released in summer of '98 with a limited screening across Japanese theaters. I saw it very long time ago. I don't remember it specifically. The one thing that I do remember is that the voice actor for Bellamy was Zoro. So just imagine that, guys, if you haven't seen it. Zoro being voiced by the guy who voiced Bellamy. Yeah, that was. I'm pretty sure that was before the anime came out. It was almost like a test pilot, and it was a very simple story. It was just Luffy, Zoro, and Nami. Right? That's the one you're talking about, right, Lucy? As it predates the official Toei anime by 1 year, this OVA features markedly different animation and voice actors. Yeah. The animation, especially like Luffy's stretching, was way different. Yep. Atomic Ambition, Bellamy the Goat, you know it. Shout out to Bellamy on the shelf. Who's who? Same color hair as Big Mom? Coincidence? I don't know about that. I highly doubt that he's like a son of the Big Mom Pirates that we haven't met yet. That left, defected, and went, to be with Kaido. I like the idea that if he was a Three-Eyed Tribe member, that he would have some sort of connection to Pudding, but with the hair color, if it was brown, then I would say something about that, but, then he could be, like, Pudding's dad or something. That was an initial thing before we, like, knew his age or anything like that, but I feel like that theory is out the window. I know this may be a stretch, but do you see a correlation between Big Mom and Who's Who? Oh, there's someone else asking the same thing. Is this the first time that people are realizing that Who's Who has pink hair? Because it was actually revealed with the Volume 97 cover. That's why, I've been speculating that Sasaki is Kokoro's son, because they have the same hair. And we know that Chimney's father, is MIA and all of this. So, and that was also what led me to, speculate that Sasaki and Frankie were going to fight, and that's happened. And then also Sasaki's design, just like, his hat looks like Kokoro's like train conductor hat and all this. Like, I'm just waiting for that to come out already. Hood Spirit, Luffy's Sky Clear equals Sulong round 2. That's interesting. That's that now taking that. Now I see where you guys are coming from. So if Luffy can clear the sky with the Clash, then the moon will be open up and the Minx can transform again. That's interesting. That's interesting. Chin says it would be a big twist if Sparrow helps slow down the virus with his candy abilities to annoy King and Queen. That would be interesting. But I see Sparrow more as an independent agent at this point. So, I mean, he could do that, but I think he's more he's always going to be against the Straw Hats. He's not going to be for helping them. That would actually be the twist, is if he ends up helping them for some reason. Bakken and Rocks, very possible based on their age. I mean, you might as well throw in, Kureha in there as a potential as well. Reese says, hey, Randy, don't you think that Marco would have it too easy against King 1v1? I would prefer if Sanji got there and took care of King. Drake took care of Queen with Chopper, and Marco went to the roof. Drake versus Queen would be interesting. I do feel that Marco versus King is, especially with this chapter and like how, he yeeted the Yeet Master. Yeah, I think that's also why Oda is like bombarding him with both of the commanders. So what I see is, since Sparrow has made it clear that he wants to interfere with this fight, I think that Sparrow is going to do something to Marco that's going to allow either King or Queen. That's going to allow either King or Queen to hurt him, and dismantle him from the fight for at least a little bit while he heals. There's still also the the folklore of the Phoenix to begin with that has yet to be explored in this story. And Oda wants to do all of that. And obviously a Phoenix rises from the ashes, so there has never been a moment in the story yet where Marco has died and then been able to resurrect himself. So at some point I could see that happening. But we also haven't seen King or Queen's hybrid forms. So, we got GOAW in here. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, my guy? Random thought. With CP0 there, highly increases the likelihood of Marines entering the raid. Maybe Fujitora? Potentially, but, I kind of see CP0 acting against the Marines for the benefit of the Celestial Dragons. Obviously they're here for the weapons. They're here because they're in, some sort of a partnership with the Beast Pirates and, by extension, Orochi. The Marines, they don't really have anything to do with that deal. That deal is happening way above their pay grade. It's happening in the shadows and all of that. They're financing these wars against the benefit of the Marines. Almost, in effect, making the Marines needed by fueling these wars and then sending Marines to go and, break it up and all that. That's ways to, keep money funneling from the towns, protection, tributes to the Celestial Dragons. Hey, we control the Marines. We'll, continue to have them, protect you or whatever if you can continue to give us tribute. I could see stuff like that. Jim Phoenix.
Savage.
I think Zoro is going to cut Onigashima with Enma. That would be one of the most outrageous things in the entire series. I mean, I know he cut Pika, which, for scale's sake, I'm going to say that Pika was smaller than Onigashima. But Man, I mean, he already cut the horn, which was ridiculous and cool. I don't see him doing that. But also, the reason I don't see him doing that is because there's the potential for him to cut everybody that's inside. You know? There's no way of Zoro knowing that he's not, like, accidentally slicing any of the crew or anybody that he knows or likes if he cuts Onigashima trying to save it from getting to Wano. Let's see. Geo, my guy.
Savage.
Appreciate the super chat, my man. What do you think about the idea that Sanji finds Carrot defeated? Then Carrot tells him Paros did it, and he goes super ultra simp and one-shots Paros. So I actually talked about this a little bit earlier in the stream about how, like, I've always wanted Sanji to fight Paros Sparrow to begin with. Even before before Marco even kicked the ship off of Onigashima and we didn't know who was coming and whatever. Because obviously Sanji's got his heat and everything, and Paros Sparrow's got the candy. Sanji can melt the candy. It would be a good fight. But from a, like, from an even deeper standpoint, Paros Sparrow really didn't do anything wrong as far as Pedro is concerned. Pedro made the choice to, off himself. But Pedro would have never been in that situation if it wasn't for Sanji. So I feel like it's Sanji's fight to fight Paros Sparrow at some point. If it doesn't happen here, in Elbaf, if that's the way that the story goes, whatever. But I feel like Sanji needs to confront that and needs to come to terms with the fact that, like, we had that little bit of dialogue between Carrot and Sanji about Pedro, but I feel like that's Sanji's thing to sort of avenge that, whether it's something that needs to be avenged or not. And I also see them as two sides of the same coin because they're both sneaky guys. I've always wanted this to be the case. I want Sanji versus Paros Sparrow. I would love for him to find Carrot and then go and take out Paros Sparrow. And if it is a one shot, great. Like, it's like that would be incredible if it was a one shot. Because he's got other things to do also. Don't want to drag it on too long, but I think that it wouldn't be a one shot because I think it needs to be like Sanji gets hit with the candy, because he wouldn't really know that Paros Sparrow's power is candy to begin with. But then you could use the fire. How's that for an answer, Gio? Brandon King, thank you.
Savage.
Shiki comes in, stops Onigashima with the float power. Just kidding. So I've talked about this a lot, but like Ragnar has a really great theory about Shiki. I don't see it coming true now, but like when he made it, it was kind of a mind-opening one where it's just like, wow, could this really be the thing? Could Shiki really be the guy that's like pulling the strings behind all of this? But ultimately, I just kind of think that Shiki was a character that Oda planned to bring into the story at some point. But then all of the things that he wanted to do with Shiki, he gave to the movie and all that. But he's like rehashed a lot of it with Kaido, and he's kind of turned what was Shiki into Kaido without the the float power. There's the whole 20-year thing. Shiki had all of the beasts. Kaido has all the beasts. There's a lot of similarities. And Ragnar's video goes into it way deeper than, I'll go into right now. Gio, it would be great for Sanji after how down bad he's been. Yeah, so he's going to get his win. I've been talking about this. Like and I really don't think that he's taken any L's to begin with. His character is growing, it's evolving. He has arcs, and that's more than we can say for a lot of characters. And he's also the alley-oop master. He sets things up for people. He lets other people get their wins. And then he gets his own as well. But that's the thing that, we absorb this as weekly readers, right? But Oda doesn't write this necessarily as a weekly experience. He's thinking about it as a volume experience. He's thinking about it as an arc experience. So that's where sometimes, when we're taking all of these things in and we're looking at it from this weekly lens, and even if we're speculating or we're theorizing or we're looking at everything, these wins and loss mentality and all of that for going into the chapters, it's fun. It makes for good takes on Twitter and all of that, but when people take it too seriously, that's when it sort of gets toxic in the community. But Sanji, as always, is going to pull through by the end of this arc. It's like that's what he does. That's what he does in every single arc. He gets his win. Even in Whole Cake most recently, like, yeah, he didn't have a fight. And a lot of people were salty about that, but he actually did have a fight. He had an internal fight with himself, and he's the reason everybody got away, because he baked that cake, which is his dream. Sanji is a cook. He's a fighting cook, but he's a cook first. So, but here we're in a war, okay? And then just like in Eni's lobby, there are things that are going to pop up that he's going to have to deal with. And that's what he's going to end up doing. He's the guy that's going to open the gates to, the gates of justice to let everybody escape. He's the guy that's going to, get whatever keys are necessary to get you out of some cages. He's going to be the guy that Oda can use and put in whatever place he needs to be to get someone out of trouble when they need to. He's not the guy that goes in the front lines and immediately, just giving smoke to people like, some other characters in the story. Lucy B, thank you.
Savage.
Where do you think the last red where do I think the last red poneglyph is? So obviously there's like the Mark of the Phoenix theory. I've watched it. It's interesting. If you haven't seen it, there's the island that Drake went to right before the time skip happened, and we knew it was Kaido's territory. And there was the guy. Why is his name escaping me? The robotic guy. Someone give it to me in the chat. My encyclopedia is running wrong right now. But we haven't seen that guy in all of Wano, so we know initially there were thoughts that island was actually maybe Ringo, when we finally got to Wano, because it was a snow area. And where is that island? How is that going to tie in? It's an interesting theory. I don't necessarily vibe with it entirely, but I would like it, to come back. It's also the place where Caribou's cover story takes place. And then Drake shows up and kidnaps him and all of that. I think the poneglyph is on Wano. Until I know otherwise, there might even be a deeper chamber in the castle. There may be another hidden area on Onigashima, but it is possible that it is somewhere else completely. Oh, Scotch is the guy's name, and oh yeah, everybody's saying it. Yeah, Scotch, and so it's possible. It's possible that that's the thing. But if you want to, if you haven't seen Marco the Theor's theory on that. Check it out. It's an interesting thought about where that poneglyph is. But even beyond that, Oda could surprise us. But there has been a lot of foreshadowing for that particular island that we don't even know the name of. Could it come into the play into the story at some point? That it would be interesting. Ultima.
Savage.
Thank you. I'd like Moria to avenge his crew. Also, if Queen made the mech animals, whose side do you think the II Devil Fruit user is on? Beast Pirates or CP0? So I'm not sure if it is a Devil Fruit, personally, because I feel like that would be... I feel like that would just be like a complete copy of Viola's Devil Fruit. Not that we haven't had copies of fruits before, with Mock Vice and Miss Valentine's Day. And, Gladius and Mr. Five are also kind of the same. So could there be something similar to Viola's fruit, but just a little bit different as well? Yeah. But I don't think that Oda's going to rehash that as soon as he did. I mean, that was just the last one, 2 giant arcs ago, so it hasn't been that long. It sort of implies in this chapter that the eye stuff may just be like a hive mind observation hockey, and we could be getting like some Skypiea level mantra type things here, where we're actually being able to sense where people are, but beyond that, we're able to see them instead of just hear them. Maybe kind of overpowered if that's something that hockey can do, but we don't really know. It's possible that Queen made the mech animals. It's also possible that Vegapunk made the mech animals. It's possible that Queen and Vegapunk have some sort of history together, since Queen knows Judge, which would then tie him to Caesar as well. But considering that Who's Who is there, Who's Who has the eye tattoo on his chest, he's got a mask. All of these people are covering their eyes. Could it be the Third Eye Tribe? Sure. Could it be something, a lot of people have brought up, could it be the Torino Kingdom, because that eye symbol is also there. That's the South Blue Island that Chopper was sent to by Kuma. Yeah, that's also similar, but, all of those people had a very specific look to them. And we didn't see anybody that didn't have that specific look. So to say that, like, say Who's Who is from the Torino Kingdom, or something like that, I don't know. But I do like the idea that Who's Who is CP0, in which case, if that's the case, if it is a Devil Fruit, I think it's more likely that it's a Beast Pirate, just because all of the Beast Pirates have the eye. But since CP0 is there, it's possible as well. Reese, I just think that Shanks has the last word poneglyph, and that Luffy will fight him as the last test to make sure he's ready to go to Laugh Tale. The way that I see it with Shanks is, like, the second they see each other, I expect, like, just... I expect Luffy to want all of the smoke, and he's just no hesitation. He's just going to go right for Shanks with a punch. And they're going to, like, test their might. And they're going to have a little bit of a fight or whatever, and then they're going to start laughing. And I think that that's how, like, the Shanks and Luffy re-meet is going to happen. Like, it's going to... There's going to be, like, this, like, fake anger going on. Or, like, this fake intensity. It's going to be real or whatever, and they're going to, like, exchange blows, but then they're going to laugh, and, it's going to be, them having a good time. Lucy B.
Savage.
I meant the one that was originally on Fishman Island. Gotcha. Sorry. So obviously we know that we have the one that's over at Zoe. We have the one that Big Mom had. Kaido's got one. It stands to make sense that Shanks would have it. Because... or it's on Elbaf. That's because you have to think about where the story has to go from here, where the story should go, where the story is going. And we know that at some point we're going to go to Elbaf. So it stands to reason that the Poneglyph would be there, especially since it's a community of people that have been, alive for centuries and all of this, and there's a mystery around them as well. But if there's someone protecting it, or someone that's holding it, then it makes sense that it would be Shanks. Because, there's the whole thing with him and the Gorosei, and it seems like he's maybe even trying to... He wants Luffy to get to Laugh Tale, but he wants Luffy to be the one that goes there, not anyone else. Like, he's betting on Luffy to be the guy that Roger's been waiting for. So I could see him protecting it from the likes of, say, Kaido and Big Mom, and by extension Blackbeard, who will also want it. And then if there's the whole thing that people think that Blackbeard and Shanks are going to fight, and Blackbeard takes it from him, who knows? Okay, let's see. PB Tenchi, they released a map of the One Piece world showing Elbaf as the next island after Wano. I still need to see that map. I know that it exists. I know that it came out. Eva Warrior says the map wasn't canon. Okay. Well, I'll still take a look at it at some point anyway. DNLA, Whole Cake, Sanji, Wano, Zoro, what's next? Elbaf, Usopp. Yeah. I still want, clarification on some of the Straw Hats, I want to know what island Nami and Nojiko were from that Belmir, got them from. I want to know who Nami and Nojiko's parents actually were. I want to know who Frankie's parents were, because they were pirates as well. I want to know more about Brook, and what country he was a guard for the king for. I want to know what happened, what Robin's time during the revolutionaries was like, and why they didn't teach her hockey. Yeah. Alright, I'm running back in the chat to see if I missed anything. Oh yeah, and then a part of Ultima's thing was I'd like to see Moria avenge his career. I still feel like Moria has stake in this fight, which would mean that Blackbeard would probably show up if Moria did, which would just make this go nuts, this arc. You want to talk about agents of chaos, like Sparrow's an agent of chaos right now. Having Blackbeard show up would be ridiculous, but I could see Moria actually helping the Straw Hats and, sort of being a part of a faux Enies Lobby, not Enies Lobby, Impel Down, team up type thing. Hey Randy, how would you feel about Chopper getting a Sulong variant? He's had the most unique interactions with the Minks, plus a sibling relationship with Carrot. He's had time to research it. Has he though? It's really only been like a month since he, or at most a month since he's seen a Sulong transformation happen. He would need. I think he would actually need like not a human fruit, but he would need like a mink fruit. See, I think that like the reason that Chopper is even able to go into his monster form is because his human fruit might have like actual giant properties, perhaps. So he's able to access that. That's why he's able to get so tall. But I don't know if he'll be able to turn into a into Sulong. Although that would be an amazing upgrade for him if that was possible. But I think that would take some. Take a lot of stretching from Luffy, from Oda. Take stretching from Oda to make that happen and make that work. Kagemusha, Rockstar would wreck Luffy. Yeah, Rockstar would wreck Luffy with his 80 million berry bounty. Stephen Turchin, thank you.
Savage.
What do you think happened to Germa? Do you think Sparrow will encounter Sanji and reveal it? Ooh, that's interesting. I've always just thought that Germa probably got away, especially if Jinbei got away as easily as he did. But I think that there is more to that story actually, and that Jinbei is probably, just focused on everything at hand here with this fight, to, break any sort of bad news to Luffy or anything about that, or even to Sanji if something, bad happened to the Germa. That would be an interesting way to even make the fight between Sanji and Sparrow even more personal than it would be. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Until I hear otherwise, I think that they've got away. But man, that would be an interesting thing to see. Ultima, Moria using his ability on Kaido's corpse would be poetry. It really would be. It would be. And I love seeing poetry in the story. Vathias, hey Randy, I'm late, but here to say hi. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Corin Brown, Carrot and Zoro have interacted, just not a lot. I guess at Zoe, but like since Zoe, when have they interact? I mean, they had that little fight. The introduction to Carrot was a fight between her and Zoro. I don't know, but I like the development that Carrot and Wanda lost. It makes Sparrow more menacing, more villainous. It would have been too simple for them to win. And when it's too simple, it's never that simple. That's like, Kobe going to fight Hancock. It's not going to go the way everybody thinks. Hancock's going to lose. Reese, don't diss our boy Rockstar. It's 95 mil. Oh, my bad. Matty Wolf 8. I feel like Sasaki could not only be Kokoro's son, but also Tom's son. I say this because Sasaki and Tom are stocky and they both have shoulder tats. So it was pretty much confirmed by Oda and SBS that Kokoro had a human husband and that Kokoro was actually just Tom's secretary, and that their relationship was completely platonic, which is not the vibe that I got when reading the flashback or even watching the anime. I thought that there was a little more going on. But gotta defer to Oda. He says that it was just his secretary. Who knows, you know. Yeah, unless she was, unfaithful. We'll see. Hey, Ryo, I'll catch you later, man. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, exactly. Sparrow's got a $700 million bounty. 700 million berry bounty. And that's what I said when they were going to fight. I was like, if Carrot can actually defeat Sparrow, then she is bounty-wise better than, 90% of the crew. So I knew this wasn't going to happen. Justin Dorman. Carrot hasn't had major crew interactions with Sanji, Zoro, or Luffy. Yeah, I mean, she's had some interactions with Sanji. She's had some interactions with Luffy. Most of her interactions have been with Chopper, Nami, to a lesser extent, Brook and Jinbei. And, that's it. Whereas, a character like Tama, who I expect to definitely join the crew, has had extreme interactions and development with Luffy, with Zoro, now with Usopp and Nami. Yeah. Who else? Chopper. Yeah. Rode with Chopper all the way to Udon. Who hasn't she? I guess Frankie she hasn't really interacted with. Robin was more Team Otoko. Yeah. But there's still time. She's been in the story for less time than Carrot. What's my favorite flavor of glue? Asks Paul Anderson. That would be Elmer's because it's non-toxic, and we keep things non-toxic over here. But I'm also not a glue eater. Reese, I think that the Supernovas will lose at the end of Act 3, and Marco could be the turnaround for the fight, healing them and helping them to fight Big Mom. Now she has enough souls. Maybe. Yeah. There's a possibility for that. And then Marco doing that big heal could be the thing that takes him out of the fight. That he's giving all of his energy to them and putting faith in them. Will Chopper fight Sparrow? I really don't see it. I don't see it because Chopper already lost to Sparrow. I mean, I guess if it's I gotta avenge my sister, Carrot. Yeah. I mean, I guess from that perspective, maybe. But that's a big reach even for Chopper. That's a big reach. Katarina Castro, do you think Kinemon will die in the Wano arc? He's got huge death flags. I think that he's had death flags since we met him. I think that he will, but not until he's had some sort of a moment with his wife. He's in my top 3 of people that could die in this arc, and those 3 would be Kinemon, Hyogoro, and Denjiro. And I say Denjiro because he did a bunch of shady stuff all through the 20 years, so it would be poetic for him to, sort of redeem himself from that. But then there are also things about folklores and yokais that everybody should know as well. And that's Ashura Doji is based on a story called Shuten Doji. And we know that Ashura Doji, his alias was Shuten Maru. So, that's no mistake by Oda. All of this stuff is on purpose. And Shuten Doji, long story short, is really just a story about a guy who dies. He gets decapitated in the story. So Ashura Doji, huge death flags based on the folklore. Now there's also, for those of you who have seen the movie The Ring, and you know the girl that comes out of the well and all of that, that's a Japanese folklore as well. And do you know what that folklore is called? About this dead girl in the well? Okiku. So yeah, the ring is based on the folklore of Okiku. And then we have the character Okiku, who has now lost an arm, and I don't think that Oda would kill Kiku after taking her arm, but the folklore would say otherwise. All right, back to the chat. $700 million versus 100 Barry. Impossible. Kagemusha, honestly, I don't see Chopper fighting in this arc at all. Yeah, like I said, Chopper's just doctoring, the same way that Sanji was cooking in Whole Cake Island and not fighting. Has it been... Okay, sorry. So, Gianluca says, will the battle between Luffy and Blackbeard be a depowered brawl due to the Kurozu and Haki power negation? So, was it proven that Blackbeard can negate Haki as well? Like, obviously, Kurozu zaps the Devil Fruit ability. But... this whole time I figured that at least Haki would be something that Luffy would be able to use. And we don't know about Awakening and how that, manifests and how that would affect Kurozu and all of this. Like if Luffy made the ground rubber or the air rubber or something like that, to counteract the Gura Gura no Mi and things like that. Could Blackbeard stop that? I mean, I feel like that's like the whole purpose and point of why Luffy would have to, how Luffy would beat him in the first place. It's interesting. But I mean, it will be a battle of stamina and actual pure strength for sure. Yeah, Izo could die as well, Kagemusha. Oda loves taking arms. He sure does. Got a lot of people in the arm club. Yamil, Okiku is a ghost confirmed, which is interesting because, they call the scabbards ghosts, and she was one of the ones that traveled as well. Capital B, what does Tama add to the crew? I don't get the Tama for Straw Hats. So Tama would be the apprentice, the beast tamer. The apprentice in the same way that Shanks and Buggy were for Roger. Luffy's emulating Roger all the way, so it makes sense that he would take Tama and Momonosuke after Wano and let them be his cabin boy and cabin girl apprentices on the ship. Throughout the story, he's shown that he loves drawing weird animals, and he loves drawing strong weird animals. We see that in Strong World. We see that in every, pretty much every cover spread. We saw that on Ruskina. Anywhere they go, Tama is going to have no shortage of beasts that she can tame. And if it's proven that her power works on Zoans, it's a sort of a get-out-of-jail-free card for a lot of situations. And then there's also Ace's Promise. And just because Shanks didn't take Luffy when Luffy was Tama's age does not mean that Luffy will do the same. Bronco says, I think Sanji would be the one to discover CP0's actions in Wano. After all, I never looked at Sanji as a fighter, but more of a spy. He is strong, but it ain't his main characteristic. Stealth Black proves that. Yeah, I've talked about this. Ever since CP0 was revealed to be Ano Nigashima, I've said that it's very likely that Sanji could have some sort of an interaction. He could be invisible. He could overhear a conversation that's going on between them. We could learn tangentially some information about the Reverie based on Sanji's findings by hiding in a room with CP0 or something along those lines. He is a spy, and he needs to do spy things, and this is the perfect opportunity for him to do so. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. That's the way to move the plot forward beyond this arc, and that's probably Sanji's true role, as it normally is that he's the one that's going to get us to the next arc by getting us that information from the Reverie. Reset Shanks' evil confirmed. Took kid's arm out of spite. No way is this red-haired pirate going around with both arms. Do I think Usopp's weapon will be his final weapon? Do you think he could get a Vegapunk-esque weapon upgrade? I don't think that it's his final weapon. I mean, it could be, and it's fine. I'd love to see the Kabuto eat a devil fruit. That would be the way to upgrade it. And it's interesting that Usopp has a lot of plant-based attacks, because I always thought that Usopp having a plant-based fruit would have been interesting. It's late in the game, but I'd love to see someone eat a devil fruit and sort of have that Kaku Khalifa interaction where we see them slowly getting used to the power and trying to figure that stuff out. It'd be a fun way to do something. I mean, like I said, it's late in the game, but it'd be interesting. And I've also been thinking about it a lot since Oda put out that thing in the last SBS where he said what devil fruits he would give to either Zoro, Nami, Sanji, and Usopp, and Frankie. Yeah. Jim Phoenix, all the Straw Hats should demonstrate hockey by the end of the arc. I agree. You can't. They're not gonna last against the Blackbeard Pirates or even in the final war if they can't. Why Fish? Hey Randy, how are you today? I'm good. Thanks for joining the stream, Why Fish. Thanks for asking. Thank you. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Hanging out. Got some One Piece. Yeah. It's a good day. Good weekend. Oh, Galaxy. What's up? Say ha 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 ha. Hashtag carrots filler. You're eating today, huh, boy? Sparrow MVP. Do you think that Shanks will be defeated by Blackbeard and this will be the final loss Luffy needs to evolve enough to beat Blackbeard? Maybe. You know, I mean, if we're going for the... Like, I had talked about Hyogoro dying, you know, somewhere near Luffy and having the, like, Obi-Wan effect for Luke Skywalker. That could be the case with Shanks as well. I also see that being the case with Garp. I don't think that Garp survives the series. I think that he'll have an amazing moment, and I think that when we get the God Valley flashback, you know, we'll get a lot of context for Garp, and we'll find out how nuanced of a character he actually is. And if it's ever revealed that he is the leader of Sword, you know, that'll make him pretty great as well. And, you know, but I could see Oda sending Garp off just like he did the goat. Shanks, I don't know. I mean, I guess it might be his role at some point to die, but we have so much to learn about Shanks before that happens. Glad to hear it, Yfish. Jim Phoenix, thank you again.
Savage.
I think Toki's mission is to pass on her fruit. I don't want to see anybody else get the fruit. Because, look, as much as I love time travel, I think, you know, things start to get a little bit wonky. If we can utilize Toki's fruit effectively in a way that adds intrigue to the story, which I've talked about a couple of times, you know, like if she manages to send a couple of people into the future and we follow them, you know, say Luffy, and the raid is over and, you know, everybody lost, and now Kaido and Big Mom have the ancient weapons, and Luffy's got to find the crew again, you know, but at this point they went and trained, and, you know, now they know hockey and all that, and Zoro's been the captain for a little bit. That'd be cool. And then, you know, even to get a flashback of their exploits and, like, fighting some other people and all of that, that'd be interesting. That's the only way that I would want to see Toki's fruit used, or to send Kaido and Big Mom a little bit into the future so that they can train, and then they got to come back when they arrive, and, you know, like, take him out. But to pass on the fruit, nah. I don't want to see anybody else with it. Timothy Smith, Cotton Candy loving Chopper about to eat a whole new candy. That would be crazy. That'd be crazy if Chopper went up against Sparrow again. It would be a nice twist. I mean, especially if Chopper won, but right now I don't see it. I don't see it. Pavlos Uchiha. Do I have a young Whitebeard figure? I do. I have a mini one. I actually have a I'm going to. I ordered this like size accurate, really cool Whitebeard figure. I think it's supposed to arrive today. I've been waiting for it for a few months. Things have been taking a long time with the pandemic to travel and all that. But it has 2 heads, so it can switch between young and old. I'll leave it old, but I have this one from the flashback with him and Roger after Marineford. And you can see the beautiful blonde locks. Yeah. Down below there is like a flashback shelf, and it's got a lot of flashback characters, and it's got the Roger Pirates and everybody as a kid and their mentors and all that. So when I say size accurate, I mean like to a Luffy. It shouldn't be the same. Like that minifigure I just showed is the same size as like this Momonosuke, which makes no sense. So Junior Taro, a little late today. Nah, you're always on time if you show up. It's okay. No worries. Who will Katarina Castro? Who will defeat Akainu? Garp, Luffy plus Sabo. Hey, Heavenly Demon, welcome to the party. So what I think is going to happen to Akainu is that I think that Akainu, until something else happens or whatever, I think that Akainu is like so stuck in his ways. He's so about absolute justice that I could see Akainu being a character that actually, offs himself. I'm serious. Like, I could see him getting to a point where he finds out about all of the shady stuff in the world government. He learns that, like, he's been following the wrong people, but he can't go against his own ideals or whatever, and he'll never, like, join Luffy or anything like that. And I think that there's some tension between him and Dragon as well, so that's why he kept calling him Dragon's son at Marineford. But I could see, just like Javert in, like, Les Miserables, he just, like, jumps into the water. He just can't take it anymore. He can't deal with his ideals. He's almost an unstoppable force, and he'll just jump in the water and drown. And it would be poetic. Wouldn't be satisfying for a lot of people. People would want Luffy to get that punch in, but I could see that being a way to go. But I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's Luffy. If there's actually going to be a fight between someone and Akainu, it's Luffy. And even if Luffy, if that fight happens and Luffy wins, but like Akainu doesn't die, I could still see what I'm saying happen. And he's not in Sword. He's not. Jim Phoenix, if you haven't seen my video on Sword, I have a whole theory about it. It's a 2-parter. I basically say that why Akainu is not in it in the first half, and then I go in a little more detail in the second part about Akainu. But I go into everybody that I believe, who I believe is in Sword and why and all of that. The Renowned and Fabled, hey, welcome to the party, pal. Capital B, what's your top 5 One Piece character? So, I mean, it changes from time to time, but, my top characters just off the top of my head are, like, Vivi, Bellamy, Sanji, Crocodile, Mr. 3, Frankie, Marco, Dr. Hurlook, Buggy. It's been a while since I've done a list. I'd have to think about it. But those are just a few off the top of my head. Geen. Yeah. Let's see. What if Toki's fruit has an ultimate technique much like Law's, and she changes Momo's inner time so he can save the capital, being grown up in the... A lot of people want, like, somehow Momo to age up. And you're not the only person that's brought this up, Ruby B. I do not like the idea of aging up Momonosuke, whether that's by Bonnie, whether that's by Shinobu, whether that's by Toki, anything like that, because at the end of the day, he'll still be mentally an 8-year-old boy, and I don't want that. I think that he's got to grow on his own. He's got to grow on his own, and that's going to be the struggle. Because even if he does try to hold up Onigashima, and exhaust himself by putting 1,000,000 flames to match Kaido's few that are actually holding it up, that's what's going to want him to grow and be more like his father. And he'll be committing a feat in that sense that, would emphasize his relationship to his father, and all of that visually. But I do not want to see him age up. I think there's a parade outside right now. So if you guys hear like some drumming or something going on, I think that's what's going on. Sonu PS, you are joking. What about my top characters? Ultima, thanks again.
Savage.
Any who lit Sanji's smoke has died. Who will be next? Watto's sword could get Toki Devil Fruit. That would be wild. I don't know if Zoro would want that. Like he just, instead of defeating everybody, he just sends them into the future with a slash. He's capping how that happened. Yo ho ho, he took a swig of glue. Oh, this is a song. Yo ho ho, he took a swig of glue. This glue thing has become like such a meme on the channel. Oh, I gotta take a look at this. Yep, it's a parade. People are wearing clown costumes and stuff. It's kind of wild. I'm about to get a copyright strike from this parade. Triple Threevil, Professor Clover, most underrated character ever. I said what I said. That's a nice pick. I appreciate that. I like when people have characters you wouldn't expect in their top. John Luca, is Robin the true narrator of One Piece? A lot of people have been asking these narrator questions lately. Someone said, is Mass Deuce going to be the narrator? And I just... Mass Deuce hasn't even been in the actual canon, so I don't see that happening. There's the thing that, this whole thing is actually a story that Usopp is telling, or that Brook is telling, or something like that. I think that the narrator can just be the narrator. Doesn't necessarily have to be anybody. If Oda wants to do that at the end of the story, that's fine. But I don't think we need the narrator to be a person other than just to be a narrator. Tama is definitely, making her way up into my top 10. Let's see. What do I think Crocodile's role throughout the remainder of the story can be? I think that Crocodile's role is tied to the ancient weapons, so whenever the ancient weapons become more relevant again, yeah, I could see that. I could see him coming back. Chin, Randy, would you cast Ezra Miller for Bon Clay? Please say no. So I saw that trending on Twitter yesterday. I saw that even Stephen Maeda liked it. I have shot... I haven't finished editing or really gotten very far into the part 4 of the live action series. It's casting part 2. I have my casting picks for pretty much all of Baroque Works, and just a lot of like season 2 stuff just for fun. Obviously it's all speculation, and it's all just having fun because we really don't know much about the live action to begin with. But Ezra Miller is not the choice that I put for Bon Clay in the video. Would Ezra Miller be okay? Yeah, I guess. I'm not too big a fan of Ezra Miller as an actor. They were fine in the Flash, as the Flash. That was interesting. I've seen them in a couple of things. I've seen them in things that I really didn't like them in. I didn't like Perks of Being a Wallflower. I didn't like We Need to Talk About Kevin. So I don't know. You need when you're casting Bon Clay, and I say this in the video, so I'll just say my pick, so it'll be spoilers for the next video. But you need a character that is like instantly likable, and that's not even that's an actor. And there are a lot of people that are sort of like iffy on Ezra Miller. Like there's a lot of people that really just don't like Ezra Miller as an actor. And I think the goal of Bon Clay is to have a character that is just so unbelievably likable just as a person that like you're just stunned that they're a villain. You're going to need the same thing when you eventually get to Kaku as well, so that like that twist kind of plays off. But my choice, it's a little older. It's not the right age for the casting, but I'd like to see Jim Rash, who is the dean from Community, play Bon Clay. The Renowned Fable, thank you again.
Savage.
Which Straw Hat is most likely to commit a crime in real life? Nami. Nami. She's a thief. Yeah, let's see. And then Luffy, probably doing like a dine and dash. Yeah, those are my picks. That's a fun question. Reese said, Onigashima falling on my house. Yeah, this is the Fire Festival stream, guys. Drake, a parade during a pandemic, yeah. And they looked like they were 6 feet deep, but 6 feet apart from each other. But yeah, that's I know there's a lot of international guys in the house, so you guys can just keep shaking your head at the United States, and I'm not going to blame you. AJ, I would not want Usopp being the narrator. That would mean the story is embellished. Truth. Justin Dorman, what a great comment. Bellamy has the best character progression from Jaya to now, and is still not done. And I think followed up a Crocodile, as I think he joins the Grand Fleet. That would be cool. I don't know if that's going to happen, but your comment about Bellamy is exactly how I feel about Bellamy. That he really does have the best character progression. And, that's when you have a great character. When, a lot of people hated Bellamy, and that was the point when he first appeared. And that's the way that Oda wrote him. But even when I was a kid reading the series, almost 20 years ago, like, Bellamy was like an instant favorite of mine, because he reminded me of the Joker from Batman, and I'm a big Batman fan as well. But I saw that there was more to the character, and I used to put my theories on Arlong Park and all of that. And I was like, Bellamy's coming back. I was like, he's not done. Doflamingo didn't kill him. All of this. He's going to show up when we fight Doflamingo. And for Oda to really take Bellamy on the journey that he did is so great. It's like, it's similar to, I don't know if this comparison really works for everything, but if people have seen the film Dallas Buyers Club, it's like you have Matthew McConaughey's character in that movie, and he's... At the beginning of the movie, he's awful. He's a degenerate. Like you have no reason to root for him, but by the end of the movie, you like him, and that's why he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, because he took you on that journey. And Oda took us on that journey with Bellamy, and a lot of people sleep on that progression. Do I think Das Bones can become a Black Blade? That'd be amazing. I mean, really all he has to do is use hockey, I guess. Do I think Zoro and Hiyori could be a real couple? I'd love to see it. I think they have great chemistry. AJ, thank you.
Savage.
Straw Hats who commit crimes before the crew. Zoro murder. Yeah, okay. Nami theft. Robin murder. Frankie grand larceny, and I mean, is all of his creations, technically were used to hurt people also. So, Sanji spying on women in the lavatory. Ooh, that hurts. Brook Jinbei pirates. No. Dark Skull Pirates doesn't like my pick of Jim Rash, but Reese does. That would be a perfect pick. You're a genius, Randy. Thank you. I just see, like, Jim Rash is exactly the type of character that I could see in Impel Down shouting at the door to get Luffy to, get his act together and not have it seem like it's, stupid. Okay, some people like it. Miles Claiborne liked it. Ruby B likes it. Yeah. Let's see, looking back in the chat. Conrad, someone say Bellamy? No. Yeah. The Galaxy, don't sleep on Sparrow. Oda keeps giving him great lines. This chapter is no different. I need to run back to that scene. I need to run back to that scene with Sparrow and Carrot, because my man was spitting. He was spitting. This man said, "Hop back to the woods and chew on some grass." Hop back to the woods and chew on some grass. I don't know. That might even take the cake for best Paris. Up until this point, my favorite line was like when he when he slapped Judge with the "Who cares about the cries of a lamb before it goes to the slaughter?" I don't know. This is the most savage thing he's ever said. Hop back to the woods and chew on some grass. Did you really expect to get a free pass after trespassing in our territory? Like, this man is spitting. I need the Sparrow mixtape. Let me get back to the chat. Timothy Smith listed his top 5 devil fruits. He said, number 1, the door fruit, blue-nosed fruit, which is actually a really underrated fruit. I like that a lot. The rubber fruit, lightning fruit, turtle fruit, gas fruit. That's cool. That's cool. I haven't really thought about it. I know that Bellamy's fruit would definitely be up there for me. Law's fruit for its practicality. Aokichi's fruit. Marco's fruit. And Kuma's fruit. Kagemusha, Paulie from Water 7, such an underrated character. My guy Alisanto would love to hear that. Reese. Someone said earlier, we're now the grass gang. We've evolved from the glue gang. I missed that, but I'm glad you told me. Lucy Brisk, who is even Jim Rash? Yeah, so when I put the video out, obviously I'm going to have an image of them, and I'll have a little short clip of them so you understand who they are. If you've never seen the show Community, it's a comedy. It's also the reason why I say Ken Jeong for Buggy. Jim Rash is also on the same show. And Silas Finley, yes, Academy Award winner Jim Rash. Let me adjust my my titles here, because he is an Academy Award winning screenwriter as well as being an accomplished comedic actor. Yes. Stephen Bricino, did Bellamy have a cover story? If not, he should have for his adventures in Skypiea. That would have been awesome. That would have been top cover story, no bar, bar none. But he did technically have his own cover story. For 3 to 5 chapters, we learned about what he did after Dressrosa. He he went to an island and he learned how to become a dyer and a flag maker. So it's theorized that he'll show up, whenever the Grand Fleet does, because he does have Luffy's Viva card, and he'll have flags for Luffy and the Grand Fleet. The Renowned Fable said, I'm going to make the Jim Rash thing happen. Calls and texts are happening now. Go for it. Let me see. Since everybody's asking who Jim Rash is, I'm gonna pull up an image of him. I'm not gonna play anything right now. But if you look up any sort of video of Jim Rash community, I think you'll see what I see. This guy. I don't know how this looks. And obviously, you know, you you know, they'll give him hair or whatever he needs. Well, John Lucas said, I wonder who could realistically pull off a live-action casting of Vonkov these days, considering the age of Tim Curry. Yeah, so obviously Tim Curry would be the ideal pick in a perfect world because that's who it's based off of, but that's not going to happen. I think that Billy Porter would be a pretty decent Vonkov. Let's make a trend on Twitter, Jim Rash for Mr. 2. What is Rav Jesus doing? You just want some attention? There you go, you got it. Sanji team up with Marco in a 2v2 fight would be hype, but him versus Jack for what happened to the Minx would be emotionally more impactful. It would be amazing too. The Hunter is coming back soon. Yeah, I can't wait to see the Hunter again. I could see Sanji teaming up with Marco. I mean, that would be cool because they're two of my goats for sure. It's Sanji is the character that really could go anywhere and it'll still move the plot forward. And like, there's claim for him to go against Sparrow. There's claim for him to go against Jack. There's claim for him to go against Queen. There's so much because Oda has been peppering all of this stuff in, and he's been developing Sanji so well that he really has beef with all of these people. Linskov says, when are we getting back to the rooftop? Not until we've seen everybody fight a little bit. So we still have to get Jinbei versus Who's Who. We need to see that for, at least half of a chapter. I think there needs to be, a re-confrontation between Nami, Usopp, and Page 1 and Ulti. We need to solidify what Sanji is doing, I believe. We may, if we go back to the, say 1007 as a rooftop chapter, it might be a one chapter thing that doesn't really amount to much, and then we come back. Oda he's keeping us away from the rooftop for a reason. Okay, Kaido just went hybrid form. I guarantee he's about to demolish everybody. And when we get up there, that's we're gonna see everybody really in bad shape, off-screened. But we'll see what Oda does. what's something I'm not a fan of in One Piece? So there's very few things that are the answer to this question. One, that Pell didn't die, and two, until I get clarification, I need to understand why Ace was actually in Portuguese de Rouge's womb for so long. It's pretty much the only two things in the entire series that I really don't like. Appreciate the mods. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. You know, I really just modded you guys because, you know, most of you are active in the Discord, or, you know, you're active here and all of that. And I like to see when you guys, it highlights when you guys speak and all that, but that you're also, you know, taking care of things like this as well is nice. And, you know, more than I expected. So let's see here. All right. So we're at 2 hours. You know, I like to keep these more around an hour, but that's almost impossible. I just get talking and I have fun, and then people ask me questions, and then I go on like a entire video's worth of ranting on it, and you know, but this is fun. This is fun. My predictions for 1007. I think we still need some Jinbei versus Who stuff. I think that's what we're getting next chapter. I'd love to see more of what Sparrow's plan is, but that we may not know what that is until something happens, and then we realize that that's what Sparrow had done. Based on the way that the chapter ended, with the cliffhanger of Hyogoro, we'll get some confirmation on whether he's going to die or not. My guess is that Chopper is going to come out of nowhere with the cure, like an RKO, and save him, but Hyogoro will die later in an area where Luffy can actually see it, and then he'll have a anime trauma power-up. Sanji should solidify, you know, we should know which direction Sanji is going by, if not next chapter, the following one. And, yeah, it'd be nice to see what's going on with the Tama group. But I'm more so expecting Jinbei and Who's Who. Heavenly Demon, we love your rants and tangents. That's why we're here, Troy Boy. Yeah, the Troy Boy theories. Great stream as always, man. Thank you, Kagemusha. John Luca, thank you for these live reactions. Plenty of fun to discuss like this. Yeah, it is fun. Because like I've said before in countless streams, like I don't really... I don't have a lot of people that I get to chat about this stuff with, so that's why I do this. This is so much fun. Yeah, let's see. So as far as next week I think I might go back to Friday. I've just been busy these past 2 weeks. And I was busy yesterday, so I couldn't do it when the chapter came out. But I don't like waiting to read it. When it comes out, I want to read it. But it's also fun experiencing it too. So I held back yesterday, and in doing so, I did know that Marco did something. But this really, in my opinion, wasn't even so much a Marco chapter. I'm glad the Carrot and Sparrow stuff was not spoiled for me. I'm glad. That's awesome. Because that was the best scene in the whole chapter. And I'm a huge Marco fan. Oh, by the way, like I was listing my top characters. I might as well just throw Sparrow up there too. Thanks, Reese. Love to Chrissy and Lil Mars. I'll spread that. Nope. These streams are always fun. Thank you, Randy. Thank you for being here. Nope. Appreciate it. Carrot and one. I got put in a spliff. Oh man. Justin Dorman, I would like Luffy to get a memento of Hyogoro if or when he dies. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, especially since it was called out by Hyogoro that he looks at Luffy as a protege. It seems it's unfair if Luffy has to find out later that Hyogoro died in the battle without him being there. So that's why I think that he's fine. He's not going to die here. Why didn't Vision save Wanda from Sparrow? That's a good one. That's a good one, King J. All right, guys. This was fun. It was fun talking about the whole Jim Rash thing. I mean, that video is already recorded, so I'm not going to be able to mention that we talked about it in this stream when I edit it. But that's going to be a fun video to put out, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's reactions to the other stuff. And when I finally have that edited, it's just harder to do those big casting videos or whatever now that my son is here. But it will eventually come. This is just something I do for fun in my free time, guys. But when I have finished it, I'll do a live premiere, and I'll be in the chat with everybody to watch it with you guys. I don't know when it's going to happen because I'm still busy, but it'll happen. Like I said, it has been recorded. Would a glue no mi be a Logia or a Paramecia? I think based on Mr. 3, I would have to say it would be a Paramecia. So I think that if glue eaters were able to turn completely into glue, I think that'd be overpowered. When I think of glue eaters in One Piece, I think of Opera from the Big Mom family. Charlotte Opera. That's a glue eater right there. Isn't that the glue fruit? No, it's the cream fruit, but yeah. John, Luca, everyone in the chat, Randy, it's been awesome. As always, this has become a tradition for my fiance, and we look forward to these chats. All the best to you all. Oh, that's great. I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna run, but I appreciate everybody for hanging out. I appreciate everybody for being here. Another fun stream. I'll try and get a video out, a review. I don't know if it's gonna happen until later on. I don't feel as pressed in the community to get something out. You know, for 1007, I might do a dual review. You know, maybe like I'll talk about 1006 and 1007. I don't really have much else to say about this. I would probably just gush about the Sparrow moment. I've done that enough. Yeah. Hop back to the woods and chew on some grass. All right, grass gang, we're out of here. World's strongest creature, Kaido. Marco is trash. No, he is not. That is not true. Yeah. All right, guys.
Savage.